This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Today, we're diving into Nepal's ambitious plan to transform its economy through technology. And it's all part of a high-stakes race toward one very specific number.
A high-growth future is the goal, but the path to get there is, well, it's pretty complex. It's a fascinating story of corporate law, strategic finance, and a battle against a very surprising opponent.
And here it is, the magic number. $500 million in IT service exports by 2026. Now, for a nation that's long looked to remittances and tourism, hitting this figure would be a total game changer. We're talking about a quantum leap into the global knowledge economy.
But reaching this goal isn't just about doing more of the same. No way. The real question is, how does the industry actually make that massive leap from where it is today all the way to $500 million?
Well, the answer lies in a really critical pivot in the business model itself. It's a fundamental move away from the industry's original foundation toward a completely different kind of economic engine. So for decades, Nepal's IT sector ran on what's called labor arbitrage, basically selling developer hours for cheaper than you could get in the West. But that's a linear growth model. If you want to double your revenue, you have to double your headcount, and your margins are always getting squeezed. The new model, though, is all about building intellectual property, specifically software as a service, or SaaS. With SaaS, you build one product and sell it thousands of times. Growth becomes exponential, margins can soar past 80%, and your company's value becomes a real proprietary asset.
And this analogy just illustrates the shift perfectly. Think about it. Are you the mason, paid once for your time to build someone else's house? Or are you the architect and the owner of the entire building, collecting rent forever? That is the huge economic difference between just selling services and selling a scalable software product.
So, to build these software apartment complexes, founders need capital. But Nepal's system just wasn't designed for the high-risk, high-growth world of tech startups. In response, founders have developed a really ingenious playbook to navigate these barriers. The first, and probably the most critical, play is called the Delaware Flip. What is it? Essentially, a Nepali startup restructures itself to have a U.S. parent company. Why? Because global venture capitalists in Silicon Valley or Singapore, they operate on standardized legal frameworks that simply don't exist in Nepal. A Delaware C Corp is a language they understand. It's a familiar, trusted vehicle for them to invest millions of dollars into. And the financial impact of this is, well, it's staggering. A company based in Kathmandu might get a valuation of 3 to 5 times its revenue. That exact same company, with the same product and team, can suddenly command a 10 to 20 times multiple after doing a Delaware flip. This Delaware arbitrage proves a crucial point. In the global startup game, a company's legal passport can be more important than its product. Now, once founders unlock that global capital, they can execute the second part of their playbook, a radical counteroffensive against Nepal's chronic brain drain problem. They weaponize salaries. A senior developer in San Francisco can cost a company over $300,000. A well-funded Nepali SaaS company can offer $100,000 in Kathmandu. For the developer, that's a world-class salary that removes the economic need to migrate. For the company, it's a strategic global bargain that allows them to hire elite talent. And the really crucial point here is that this strategy has compounding effects. It doesn't just stop brain drain, it reverses it. The most valuable work, creating IP, now happens and stays in Nepal. This creates brain circulation, where senior talent not only stays, but also becomes the next generation of mentors and angel investors, funding new startups and creating a self-sustaining ecosystem. So with a clear playbook for success and access to global capital and talent, you'd think the path is clear. But the biggest fight for these companies isn't against competitors in India or Vietnam. It's against something much closer to home. So who is it? A rival company? A technology shift? What is the single biggest obstacle standing in the way of that $500 million goal? The answer is its own domestic bureaucracy, specifically regulations like the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, which were designed for a 20th century economy and now act as a major barrier to the seamless flow of foreign investment that the 21st century digital economy requires. The Delaware Flip is a workaround, not a solution. This brings us to a critical juncture. The entire $500 million ambition hinges on a choice between two very different paths, the choice that needs to be made by policymakers today, not tomorrow. There are two scenarios. The first is regulatory inertia. The rules don't change, the Delaware Flip remains a complicated workaround, and growth is throttled. The $500 million target is likely missed. The second is the regulatory release valve. Policymakers create a legal sandbox, a streamlined process for tech companies to raise foreign capital. This unleashes a torrent of investment, and suddenly, that $500 million target looks not just achievable, but perhaps even conservative. And this really captures the heart of the matter. The race to $500 million isn't about technology or talent. Nepal has both. It's an internal race between the incredible speed and dynamism of its entrepreneurs and the inertia of its own regulatory state. Ultimately, the playbook is written, the talent is ready, and global capital is waiting. The only remaining variable is whether the country's own rules can be adapted in time to let its most innovative sector run.